Lesbian Detectives. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Live right now. Lesbian Detectives. Lesbian Detectives. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready to go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.
This is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here to talk about missing and unsolved murders.
We are discussing cases that you have forgotten about or never even heard of.
So sit back, relax, and let's start this podcast. Today's case has always made me stop and think, could this case really be solved? Or did this person complete the perfect murder? As a true crimer, we always have a case that stands out and be like, how could this case happen and could it be solved? Because this one is mine. A mother of 3 was murdered in her own church by someone wearing a whole SWAT outfit with a slight limp. This is the case of Terri Missy Bevers. Through the whole case, I'm going to probably call her Missy or Terri.
Okay.
Because she goes by really Missy, but I probably switch up a little bit. Missy Bevers was actually started her life out called Terri Leanne Stickland. She was born on August 9, 1970 to her parents James and Norma Stickland. She is the second of 3 children. Missy has 2 brothers, one older and one younger. She actually grew up roughly 2 hours northwest of Dallas before relocating down closer to the city as an adult. Missy, she struggled to find her purpose in life after graduating. She wasn't sure what she wanted to do. She had no directions, but she did go to college. She went to different colleges. She actually finally settled down and she figured out that she wanted to get her teacher certification in special education.
Oh, okay.
She would teach special education classes for a time before settling down a short time later, marrying her husband, Brandon Beaver, in 1998. And the couple will have 3 daughters. The eldest is Hannah, then Allie, and the youngest is Sarah. At the birth of her first daughter in 2001, Missy had decided to stop teaching and become a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling her kids for a short period of their life before floating the idea of going back to the workforces one day. The Beaver family lived in Red Oak, Texas, a suburb just outside of Dallas.
Oh, yeah, I know where that's at.
Yeah, this, I don't know if I know we're, in Texas area, so, we kind of know where certain areas are in this story.
Yeah, we're in the Dallas area. Red Oak is pretty close.
It's very close to us. We actually have friends in Red Oak. Missy was able to combine her 2 passions, fitness and teaching, into a single job, which gave her a newfound sense of purpose outside of her family. She actually taught inside of a church, and she called them the Gladiators.
Oh, okay.
She wanted her campers to also be mentally, emotionally, and spiritual fit. Browsing her Facebook page from April of 2016, you really do get a sense of Missy passion, a little bit more of her personality too. Most of her page is dedicated to her family, constantly posting pictures of her daughter. She also posts a picture of her husband, wishing him good luck because he was going to do a minor surgery in the middle of the month. She also will post quite frequently about various fitness programs she was involved with, mostly ennobling the camp gladiators. She also would post every so often about her favorite baseball team, the Texas Rangers, on the eve of Sunday, April the 17th, 2016. And the area around Dallas prepared itself for a tornado and rainstorm, which stood to impact the outdoor events. So Missy mostly taught her classes outside. So this will really impact her class for the next day.
Right.
So that evening, Missy took to Facebook, posted an image that reads, "If it's raining, we still training," informing her camp gladiators, fitness students, that they would be meeting inside early the following morning. So she didn't care. She left the post office. Rain, sleet, hail, all
or
that.
snow.
Snow.
The mail's gotta go.
Right.
Oh my God, I hate it when they said that. I'm so glad I'm not there anymore.
My mom still is, so.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out, Mom. We are excited to see all your smiling faces in the morning. As expected, heavy cloud rolled in that night, falling thunder. Meanwhile, over in the church, evil prepared itself. A handful of hours after Missy made her Facebook post, a mysterious vehicle was spotted driving through the parking lot nearby. The vehicle occasionally stopped, turned off its lights more than once before leaving the parking lot just moments later. It only then disappeared out of frame, heading for a destination unknown. Roughly 2 hours later, Missy arrived to begin setting up for her camp gladiator class. The motion-activated camera inside will film her walking throughout the church to begin setting up, then turning to see someone, a dark presence, covered head to toe in tactical police equipment. What followed is something known only to select few. Police arrived at Midlothian Creekside Church early that morning, just after 5 a.m., and quickly determined that 45-year-old Missy Bevers has been the victim of a homicide. While authorities has kept particular details out of the crime vague, they did admit that Missy had died of an undetermined head trauma committed by an unknown object. Later, a search warrant issued by an investigator revealed that she had died of multiple puncture wounds found on her head and chest, and the murder weapon appeared to be a tool found near her body. This tool supposedly included a hammer and potentially a knife. There were visible signs of forced entry at the church and a sign of a struggle near Missy's body. More detail will be withheld by officials, with Midlothian Police Chief Kevin Johnson telling reporters, "In the interest of the ongoing investigation, we are not releasing any details at this time. We are not speculating on the motive of the suspect or whether there are any theories to explain this particular crime. Our investigators are working around the clock to figure out what exactly happened. This case will be overseen by the police department, which will be assisted by the early hours by the Texas Rangers and the FBI."
The Texas Rangers?
Mm-hmm.
Not the team, though.
Not the team. They even received assistance from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearm, and Explosive, mostly known as ATF, who brought a bomb-sniffing dog named Titan to the Creekside Church on April the 20th to search for any sign of shell casing or gunshot residue.
As they say, everything is bigger in Texas.
Right.
Just look at this search. Everybody's involved.
Right. Investigators, they theorized that Missy had interrupted a burglary in the process. But after searching for evidence, that was not the case at all. For starters, nothing valuable seemed to be missing, even from the church or Missy. Missy's purse and her iPad were both found at the scene inside of her truck, along with her gun that she left behind there, was seen to be untouched.
Oh, they came in with a mission.
Mm-hmm.
And she carried her firearm everywhere?
Yes, but she didn't have it on her. She had it in her car.
I wonder if she knew it was coming. I mean, it is Texas. A lot of people
carry guns everywhere. Grocery stores.
I don't know if maybe she speculated. I don't know. Interesting.
Right. So let's discuss the video a little bit. I'll put the video in the description so you guys can take a look. I showed my wife before we recorded. I really didn't tell her what it was about. I said, "Hey, watch this video." And she was confused, but I feel like now she's like, "Oh, now I know this video about."
Right. These indoor cameras showed Missy arriving at the church a little after 4:15 a.m. to begin getting ready for her fitness class that began at 5 o'clock. This footage involving Missy had never been released to the public, but apparently revealed that she was not alone inside the church that early in the morning. Someone wearing what looked like police tactical gear had been inside the church roughly half an hour before Missy arrived, opening some interior doors of the church and occasionally breaking glass. This individual was seen carrying around a number of tools, which were believed to have been used as weapons when Missy later arrived. Police would disclose in a search warrant that puncture wounds found on Missy's body were consistent with tools the suspect was carrying around the building. At one point, this individual can be seen carrying a small white box in their left hand, which many believe may have contained a newly purchased knife. The outfit that this individual wore appeared to be a tactical police outfit, like the ones worn by SWAT teams or riot cops, which they adorned from head to toe. A search warrant later filed by police described the suspect as wearing a black helmet, a black ski mask, dark pants, dark long sleeve shirt, black gloves, a black vest with the words police in white lettering on the front and back. Police detailed their movements as walking through the building, holding a hammer, breaking windows, and going through offices of the church. This person walked with a noticeable gait underneath all the equipment, which many suspected may have been due to a pre-existing limp. For obvious reasons, this individual, who first appeared on the church's interior surveillance camera at around 3:50 a.m., was believed to have been the killer of Missy Bevers roughly half an hour later.
So, we all know when a wife dies, we know who the first suspect always would be. Missy's husband was on police radar very, very quickly.
Okay.
At an investigation, as words of Missy murder spread throughout the internet, Brandon found himself facing a lot of criticism and speculation early on.
Was there life insurance money involved?
Probably so. Like, everybody have life insurance money.
If that's the case, then yes, I could see why.
To his credit, Brandon informed police that he was out of town. He was actually on his annual fishing trip in Mississippi, more than 500 miles away. So for somebody that was actually from Mississippi and we have taken that drive to Mississippi to Texas, that is a long drive. It's like 6 to 7 hours long.
Yeah, from here.
That alibi was confirmed by authorities. But that would not stop the internet rumors, causing Brandon to try to get ahead of it. April 19th, the day after Missy murder, when he would speak at his first press conference. After Brandon spoke, he would ask for privacy for himself and his family, who was still grieving and trying to make sense of the tragic loss. Yet, that wouldn't be a thing. People still kept going after Brandon. The internet, they believed that it was Brandon, trying to figure out why would he do that to his own wife.
Insurance money.
But they also had another person in mind.
Maybe he had a side piece.
I feel like everybody have a side piece.
I mean, I can think of reasons why a husband would do that to his wife.
Right.
It's not the correct thing to do. By
Divorce.
Far. Yeah.
Just
just
divorce.
Communicate. Tell them, hey, it's not working anymore. I'm sure they'll be hurt, but they'll still live.
Right. I can't go to jail, so not for me.
Same.
But another suspect was actually his father, Randy.
Oh, God.
He actually had a noticeable walk with a bit of a limp. Similar to the gate scene exhibit that we know in the video. So people kind of compare his walk and the person in the video walk.
What if he hired his dad to do it?
I mean, will you hire your dad to kill somebody like that? Go kill my wife for me.
I mean, you told me that if I go missing, your mom would...
Yeah, she'll cover for me.
Cover for you.
Gosh.
Y'all have said this, so that's what I'm saying. It makes more sense than the previous case that we were talking about. She hired a gardener and then she hired her landscape guy.
Yeah, you talking about Karen.
Yeah. I mean, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Again, I don't endorse any murder, killing, hurting of anybody.
Right.
But I can
see it. A search warrant filed just days after Missy murder included and sought after information about Randy, who actually brought a pair of bloody shirts to his dry cleaner just days after Missy was murdered. One of them, which was a woman's shirt, which obviously raised eyebrows after the bat.
Yeah, I know.
But Randy said it was dog blood.
Why would the dog's blood be in a woman's shirt?
So he was questioned and the police asked him about this shirt. And he explained that his dog was a Chihuahua, got hurt by another dog, and they were trying to save him. So that's why the blood got on the shirt.
Did they test the blood?
They tested blood. It was a dog's blood. But then they asked him, what happened to the second shirt? He was like, oh, it's at the dry cleaners. But the dry cleaners said that he tried to scrub the blood off. Like, he was trying to really scrub the blood off. But to me, I'm just sorry. I'm just going to throw that shirt away.
Yeah. You get rid of the evidence. You burn it. No, you don't throw it away. You burn it.
I mean, if it's really like blood on that shirt and I can't get it off, I'm just going to throw it away.
I'm going to burn it.
Okay, she's going to burn it.
Burn it.
She's going to burn it. But so that they cleared this all up. They even went to the VAD emergency room and they said, yes, that's what happened. Everything was confirmed. It was really dog blood. Yeah, people didn't believe this. People were still looking at the father and the husband.
It's the gate for me.
Yeah. Only reason... So it's another case. I think her name was Susan Powell. Correct me if I'm wrong. She was murdered. And everybody assumed that it was her husband and the father-in-law because the father-in-law was kind of creepy and very like creepy towards the wife. He was always staring at the wife, looking at the wife. There's interviews out there with him talking about his daughter-in-law, just like, you get the shivers.
Yeah.
Goosebumps. The weeks after Missy murder, Brandon and Randy will decide to speak at a press conference together at the police station. There they will be asked not only about the bloody shirts, but other few things. Let me tell you about the interview. The interview, they was just chill. They were relaxed. Randy, he was kind of smiling and laughing. They did not look like two people that lost somebody. They look like they just talking to their friends about going fishing or golfing. I will put the interview in the description so you can watch it. I really couldn't even finish it because it was just so sad. They did not look like two people that lost someone. They look kind of relieved to me. And I'm sorry to say that, but you can watch the interview if you want to. You will see what I'm talking about because it's so sad how they look like they really didn't care about her. And I'm putting it out there. You can take what it is, but they look like they're just having a good time. They more is about clearing their name. You didn't hear nothing about Missy this. She was this type of woman. You know, when somebody, family member dies or get murdered or goes missing, they tell you what kind of person they are. He was like, oh, when I arrived back home, I had my rental car that had the Mississippi tags on there. He was just clearing his name. He wasn't talking about his wife. And I'm so sorry to say this, but that kind of made me look at him a little different. Let's talk about this a little bit more in detail about the video. Even though my wife just read it, it's some points that I want to make out. So in the video, how the person is walking, we see it has a slight limp. But the police came out and said that they don't know if it's a woman or a man. In the early investigation, they did call it a man. They said, this is a man hurt her. But now looking into it, they're not for sure anymore. They think the walk is kind of feminine a little bit.
So it's not a limp?
It is a limp. It's still a limp. But they feel like how the person is walking is more feminine than masculine. So it's really questioning the public and the police.
Well, what if they did it to throw them off?
Right, because I feel like whoever did this murder is very smart. They just didn't sit down like, hey, this is how the murder's gonna go. They really planned it. For you to cover up your whole body like that, you had an idea what's gonna happen.
Or maybe, I mean, you said I have a masculine walk. Everybody says I've tried to have a feminine walk, but it's just awkward. I mean, that person could also just be gay or something like that.
Right. Due to that, the day after Missy murder, Assistant Police Sheriff Kevin Johnson told the press, we are backing off of the statement that the video was a man. I know we said over and over and over again yesterday, but that was a mistake. There's a lot of speculation based on the gait and appearance that this person may be a woman. That's the only thing we answer right now.
Okay.
The detail of the motives of the killer has always been unknown, but the suspect they feel was between 5 feet 2 inches tall or 5'7" inches tall and may have a stalker build. Although they never estimate the suspect weight because of the bulky tactical equipment that they wore at the time of the murder. Because the equipment itself was so thick, it was hard to get an idea frame of the killer. While investigators has originally suspected this has been a burglary gone wrong, the surveillance footage has changed that thought. It has now believed that the suspect had simply been laying the groundwork for the appearance that Missy had interrupted the burglary in progress. Over the time, investigators will come to suspect that this crime had been completely planned, that Missy has been targeted by her killer. Toby Shook, a longtime lawyer, asked to weigh in on this case by news network WFAA, theorizing that the killer had prepared the scene to look like a robbery, wore the police uniform to get the drop on the victim to make them think that there was police so they can feel safe around them. It has remained unknown what happened in the time between Missy entering the Creekside church and when the offender attacked her, so it's unknown if this had been a intent purpose on the police tactical uniform, yet others in Missy orbit believe that she'd been intentionally targeted, perhaps even have been stalked or harassed in her final week of life.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of saying, like, why is she carrying a gun?
Mm-hmm.
If she had always done it, then it's not really a red flag, but if she just started doing it, then she knew something.
What's going to happen? Mark Garcia, a friend of Missy and also manager of the gym, told CBS News that she seemed kind of different before her death. He said she seemed a little more reserved. I don't think she was wrong place at the wrong time. I feel like someone was after her.
Yeah, no, this was for sure planned and she was for sure targeted, in my opinion.
In the days ahead, it will come to light that some of the warrants filed in Missy's case related to her online presence, in particular as it related to some of her messages she had been sent and received in LinkedIn, a social media site centered around business and networking, which she had been regularly used to try to build up her fitness profile. Apparently, 3 days before her murder, Missy has received a message on LinkedIn, which she showed her friend at the time. The friend later told police that the message was from a male unknown to them both, and they both agreed that the message was kind of creepy and strange. Police would later file a warrant to obtain the information from LinkedIn and the user. It was unknown what they discovered afterwards. However, while looking through Missy's LinkedIn profile, they discovered that at least one other person has been in contact with Missy through the months before her death, and the message got a little flirtatious. Missy had been deleting most of her messages at the time, but the ones that were able to recover, according to the warrant, appeared to be intimate in nature.
Well, that kind of explains if it was the husband who hired the dad.
Still say he hired the dad. I just feel like he didn't hire him. He just like, hey.
Or he told the dad and the dad wanted to get some kind of vengeance.
This individual that she'd been talking to was a male, was later tracked down by investigators and confirmed that both Missy and him been flirted and sending messages to each other. But it's not publicly known if they have gone even further than that. This came as a huge surprise to so many in the orbit of the Bevers family, who thought that the couple was happy.
I mean, at the end of the day, cheating is cheating. I don't care if it's just emotional, physical. At the end of the day, to me, it's all the same.
Additional warrant filed by investigators revealed that Missy and Brandon had problems before her death, that the two had been having both marital and financial problems, and that some of the messages even referred to extramarital affairs. As you can imagine, this information caused the internet rumor machine to begin spinning around Brandon again.
Right.
Online rumors theorized that he may hire a hitman to kill Missy over these natures.
The daddy.
But I don't feel like it was a daddy. I feel like how planned this was, it probably was a hitman. Because, come on.
Why would he limp, though?
To get off track.
And walk feminine? I guess that makes sense.
Girl, he wore the whole uniform. Headgear, gloves. You can't see nothing on this man. So, of course, a hitman.
I don't know. I'm not a hitman, but if I was, I feel like it is common to hide. They say, what is that saying? The devil, I don't know, it's in Spanish. I don't really know the English version. But they say that the devil is evil, not because of his evilness, but because of his wisdom or his age.
To this day, it remains unclear whether Missy Beaver killer was someone that she knew. If so, what was the reason of killing her? Later, when speaking to People magazine, Brandon theorized that the killer had been someone initially target Missy. I still think whoever this person knew my wife, and the motives is still to be unknown. Midlothian Assistant Police Chief Kevin Johnson is now asking the public to identify the driver of a 2000 to 2012 Nissan Altima seen in a parking lot near the church a few hours before Missy Bevers' killing. This vehicle, believed to be a silver or gray Nissan Altima, has been slowly circling around the nearby parking lot, just a stone throw away from the Creekside Church. At one point, the vehicle turned its lights on and off, then back out before driving away out of camera frame. As noted by police, this vehicle seemed to have a distinctive design or a bumper sticker on this back bumper directly below the license plate. This may have been a AAA bumper sticker, but it was impossible to make out in the dim light. In the years to come, police continued to release statements regarding their continuous investigation, how they weren't going to disclose details publicly about it, but there were no investigation method that were not utilized to track down the killer of the beloved mother of three. In 2017, the PD still had investigators working full-time on the case. They released a statement. Missy was a beloved mother, wife, daughter, and sister. In 2018, the case was handed over from the single full-time investigator to a group of officers who planned to come in and start it back from scratch. According to a report from January of that year, by that time, authorities estimated that they was getting an average of 10 tips per week, which came periodically through emails, phone calls, and other information obtained through Crime Stoppers. As reported by the Daily Light, some came from local sources, others came from hundreds or thousands of miles away, some as far as Australia. In the early days of the investigation, police used male pronouns to talk about the suspect, but they backtracked it pretty quickly and clarified they actually didn't know the person's gender at all. In fact, it could be a woman. Missy's husband, he actually agreed. He said it could be a woman. He told People magazine way back in 2016 that he thought Missy was murdered by a woman who knew her, and he actually pointed to Missy's wedding ring still being on her finger as proof that she was a target. When he stated that, I really didn't understand what he meant about the wedding ring. Some of the tips that they received were about a single person, Bobby Wayne Herron.
Was that the person that she was having an affair with?
Well, they never said who she was having an affair with. They kept that hush-hush.
Or who she was talking to online, flirting.
Well, it's still an affair. But they never said who she was having an affair with. They kept that locked down. I feel like the family probably know who she was having an affair with, but me and you, the public, we don't know. Some of the tips they received was by a single person, Bobby, a police officer from a nearby Lancaster who had some striking relationships with the case. For a starter, Henry, he was a police officer. That means he had access to the outfit that the person wore.
Oh, wow.
He also was suspended from the force in 1996 for committing aggravated sexual assault.
So he just got suspended for sexual assault? He could have been fired from the force.
Basically.
Not suspended.
He was suspended. He also was a member at the Creekside Church where the crime was committed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, he's got too many ties.
And a vehicle matching his vehicle description was also driving away from the scene that morning of the crime.
Did he limp too? Did he have a limp?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
He also worked security at Missy funeral and had a little limp that was noticeable in his walk.
Did he have a feminine walk?
When police were looking into Henry, they obtained a search warrant from him and reportedly discovered child abuse material on multiple electronic devices that he owned. For that reason, he was arrested in June 2007 and local gossip began to peg him as Missy killer. However, Bobby was seen to have some information in favor, including a fact that he was 6'1", noticeably taller than the person that's seen in the footage.
Well, you can't really tell the height unless you're like right next.
Well, they said like you can't actually like device they can do to shrink the person like in the camera and like 5'1", like it won't give you the exact height, but they give you a range of what the person height would be.
Still, he's pretty close to the range.
5'2".
He has access to the clothes or the uniform that the perpetrator was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
He had a limp and possibly a feminine walk.
But the police didn't think it was him.
They're gonna cover. This is liability, people.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why they rolled him out.
Mm-hmm. But the police, they believe that the walk was actually not real. They believe the person kind of faked the walk.
Yeah.
I can kind of see that a little bit.
Yep.
So later that year in 2021, they called in a doctor, Dr. Michael. So he really was good at analyzing people walk and how they act. So they brought him in. And as he looked into the offender, he couldn't determine by the footage if it was a man or a woman. So he didn't have the right equipment. He said like, okay, I can't really figure out. He couldn't pinpoint if it was a man or a woman. So he really didn't help that much for investigators.
Okay.
But he did actually help solve a lot of crimes though. So
just not this one. So it's irrelevant. He's irrelevant.
Okay. The sad thing about it, that's all we really have on this case. We have a couple suspects. We have the doctor coming in. And that's sad to say that this case is still unsolved to this day. But before that we end this episode, I'd like to say that Missy, she was a mother, a wife, a daughter, and a sister. She found her passion before she left this world. One thing I hope we all take from Missy that we can do anything. It's never too late to find our passion. And this is the case of Terri Missy Bevers. And let's get into some theories.
Let's get into our theories. So I'll go first.
Okay. I feel like you kind of told us like 18 theories that you had.
So in the beginning, I thought it was Randy, the dad.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm thinking it was the cop.
Okay.
Because he had access to the uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even she was talking to him online.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it didn't work out in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the husband was friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he did it. I don't know the motive.
Who, the husband or the police officer?
I feel like the police officer did it. I don't know the motive. He crossed the line. He was a bad cop.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been fired from the force.
Yes, he should have.
A lot of the times, people are in certain positions because it gives them power. They feel powerful.
Mm-hmm.
He crossed the line whenever he was accused of sexual harassment. I don't know if he was convicted or found guilty of it.
Well, that just all they said was that he was suspended.
That's what I'm saying.
They never said that he, was charged or anything.
Exactly. The police is going to try and cover their tracks.
It probably was a female officer that he was harassing.
Probably.
Mm.
And this is where Missy comes along.
Mm-hmm. I
I don't really know how she upset him.
Okay.
But I feel like he did it.
Looking into this case, I was, I go and read it, and I also talked to a lot of more people that's into true crime because I would like to hear their theory. Because sometimes with cases like this, where it's so planned, it's hard to figure out. Because whoever this person was, I feel like they do have police training. The only reason I said that is because how she was killed. This person walked around and made it look like it was a burglary. That's the first step. And then they was covered head to toe. So you couldn't figure out who they were.
How many crime scenes has he been on?
Probably a lot.
So he has a lot of knowledge. He's pretty knowledgeable about what they look for and what to do.
Some people, say it's a woman. And I hear online people like, oh, what if was, because they said that they had problems in their relationship. What if it was a woman that the husband was cheating on? What if she was a police officer? Because I read online.
Oh, the husband was cheating?
Well, they never said who was cheating, but they said like
They're both.
Yeah, they
cheating,
had problems, marital infidelity issues in their relationship. So we don't know who really was cheating. Well, we kind of figured out she was like a little cheating a little bit.
But who is the female suspect that you think it is?
So let me explain. I feel like the husband probably was cheating on her. We don't know. And I feel like it probably was a side piece, or his side piece was a police officer that came along and just, he wanted her out. Or it could be someone was jealous of her.
Yeah, no, clearly. Somebody that didn't like her.
Clearly.
But I'm just saying, why didn't the police look into a female officer then?
Well, I feel like the police is going more for a female than a male.
I feel like that's because they don't want to charge one of their own. It doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, I don't believe it.
Well, as I've been trying to say for the last 10 minutes, because you're very passionate about this case,
I am.
I feel like I read a fact in a story, I don't know where I read it at. It said a lot of cases that has been unsolved were committed by women, because sometimes police or FBI can't imagine a woman committing it. It could be so bloody. They think like, oh, women are like prissy and like bubbly and all that. For some reason, the woman is coming more and more in light to me. I don't know. I feel like it could be a woman for it. And like just thinking back, that person had to be so smart in their crime, because they cover up, because you can't tell, like usually like they will leave something like uncovered so the police can like, oh, that's a mark. We can compare it to somebody. But this person didn't. To me, I agree with you. They do have police training. Because someone like me and you, I mean, I would think of it because I watch true crime and stuff like that. But an average person, they're not going to think of it. But other thing is, they left behind the murder weapon. That's another thing that's crazy. But I mean, that person had gloves on, so it really didn't matter. But they had to time it because they came in and they was waiting on her. And then they killed her and it was way gone before her class came. That's another thing we have to think about, because the class, they found her. So what if, oh my God, hello, let me say something. What if it was one of her class members? Like, what if the person never really left? What if the person killed her, went, changed, all that stuff, faith and limp, and came in like, oh my God, Missy, and found her. And was acting like, oh, like, I don't know. I mean, am I making sense a little bit?
A little bit, but the thing about it is this cop had a certain car that fit the description of the car that was in front, that was found before anybody arrived.
But it'd be stupid of him to just keep giving the police him. If he's a cop, he did all their work. Why do he keep calling them and saying, hey, I got another tip, I got another tip, I got another tip?
To throw them off.
It's really not throwing them off. That's going to make them go more, because everybody know if you involve yourself in the crime, you're the first suspect. And that's what he's doing. He's involving himself in this crime. If he did all that work, cover his whole body, why would you shoot? I'd be like trying to chill in the background.
It's a game.
I'm like, you really on this cop? I don't think it was him.
I think it was.
I think that they always say that it wasn't sexual motivated at all. And looking at his past, we kind of see what kind of person he is.
Well, what if she turned him down?
Yeah, but he would try to rape her at least.
Well, this was his vengeance.
I don't know. I feel like you think it's him. I feel like it's somebody not on the radar. It's sad to say, I don't feel like the police are any close of solving this murder. I feel like they have no idea. They have nothing.
I think they're trying to not have a liability on their hands.
You think? I don't think I think it's a cop, but I don't think it's him. Only reason I don't, because the height don't match at all.
Well, that's because, okay, so where you get your information is how you're going to be influenced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the police want you to deter yourself from thinking that he's a suspect, they're going to give you information to make you believe that he doesn't fit the description. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not going to want to be liable for something. Like, if it comes back on them, like, that's money.
He really not on the force. That's the problem. You know, to me, only reason I don't think it's him, I don't know. But you know, one thing we haven't thought about is who is she cheating with, right?
Yeah.
Because why do they keep that so hush hush? Because on our last case, 2 cases ago, they came out and they told us who the person was cheating on with. They told us the name, who the person were. But why is this person so like hush?
Such a mystery.
And the person could be a police officer. Probably, I don't know. I feel like we should look into the affair partner a little bit that she was cheating with. I mean, what if it was a woman?
But why didn't the police look into that from the get-go?
Well, they look into it and then they're just like, okay, we're done.
Exactly.
I know.
You see what I'm saying? Like, the police could have done more.
They could, and it's crazy. They had a big old task force, like a lot of people in her case. And you're telling me you couldn't find one thing?
That's what I'm saying.
I get you think it's a cop. I understand that. We all get you think it's a cop. But it's like, I'm trying to tell you, my fear is you like, this is the correct answer.
That's what I believe.
I know, but it's my turn to tell my theory. I feel like it's a couple people out there that I have my eyes on, like could be. I just want to know more about the affair partner, like the one that she was texting on Lincoln. First of all, never knew you can have an affair on Lincoln. Never knew there was a thing. Like learned something new today. But I just want to know why they kept that person so hush hush. I don't think it was Bobby she was probably having an affair with, because they would have snitched on him. They were like, so yeah, it was Bobby, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or the husband would have said so. But why is the husband so on that it's a woman though? Like he like, it's a woman. Yeah, for real. It's a woman. It's a woman. That also made me think, like, why are you so like, it's a woman? Could it really been a man that you're trying to take like everybody's eyes off that it was a man?
Yeah.
Because he like, yeah, that was a woman. I look at the walk, you look at the walk. I feel like people have different walks. Like you really don't walk feminine. I walk feminine. Some people don't walk the same, you know? I don't know. It is weird that he took it off of a man so fast. Or it could have been a hitman. He could have hired Bobby, the one you think the police officer, to kill his wife. There's so many possibilities.
I'm just saying, like, okay, what does it for me is the car,
Mm-hmm.
the limp,
Mm-hmm.
the uniform,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that this person knew how to like investigate and has been around crime scene. Like it looks like this person has been trained
Mm-hmm.
for situations
Mm-hmm.
like this. The only thing I don't have is the motive.
Sometimes you don't need a motive. We'll never understand why people kill people. Like they can say, oh, because they looked at me funny. What? Really?
And they never said who she had as an enemy. A lot of people are always like, oh, you know, if it wasn't the husband, then, you know, is there anybody that didn't like her or
Mm-hmm.
that they never said anything.
Mm-hmm.
They just talked about a little bit about how she was being flirtatious on LinkedIn. She didn't have a good relationship with her husband. Her husband was in Mississippi. So that too it is like a red flag because he's like, I don't want to be nowhere near,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this when it happens. So, and then the fact that he keeps trying to blame it on a woman, but you were in Mississippi, sir. Like, how do you know it was a woman?
Right.
Why are you trying to steer this into a woman? If something happened to my wife, I wouldn't like say, oh, no, it's a woman. It's a woman. I'd be like, look, you get me the answers,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
When I heard his newscast, his voice very monotone. Like he was like, look at, like he was talking like this. He was like, my wife got injured. Look at the video and stuff like that. I didn't hear any emotion. I don't know if he was just holding it in, but he did it so soon to have an interview though. That was the craziest thing. The next day, after your wife is murdered, you like already said, hey, it wasn't me. To me, I'm sorry. If something happened to you, I'm not going on camera so soon, be like, that's my wife. I didn't kill her. No, I'm dealing with the police because I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. What's our next step? Forget what the public believe and see in me. I need the police to do their job. I'm more of them.
Right.
Him and his dad both, like, people got their eyes on him. Okay, let's clear our names quick. Why is that? Like, why?
Yeah.
And that was the craziest thing. Why y'all clearing your name so fast? Like, okay, I can understand you clear your name, get it out there.
Who's y'all?
His dad and him.
Mm.
And they was interviewing so fast with the public. It's not even with the police, it's the public. The next day, so you tell me, you got on a plane, right? You heard your wife was murdered, got on a plane, and next day you and the camera's like, guys, it wasn't me. Why?
I would try and work with the police to try and figure out if we can solve this.
Right.
Okay, what do you need? You know,
But
here's
it's like,
her laptop, here's her phone type thing. Like if I have it in my possession.
but it seemed like all his interviews was trying to clear his name. It wasn't about trying to solve his wife murder. That's what you kind of see a lot. I have noticed that a lot of people that didn't commit the murder, they are like in the force. They're like with the police trying to find some. They like very involved. Like, forget what you think about me. This is my wife. This is my spouse. Or this is my husband. We got to find this, you know?
Yeah.
But some people are like, oh, cool, collect. Like, yeah, you know, they trying to sometimes outsmart the police. Those are ones you need to kind of watch the most.
They put up a front.
That's true. I don't know. I feel like her case is kind of hard because we still don't have a lot of pieces that we need. Like, also, who was the person that inboxed her on LinkedIn that she was kind of creeped out about? I know we look into him, but did we really, for that person to creep her out and harm her, like, no, like.
Could have been the cop.
Could have. No, I thought the friend would, I don't know, the friend probably know more than what she said. Because if you know, if you cheat on your spouse, who's the first person you going to tell?
I just don't know why we don't have these details.
The police are holding a lot in.
Why?
Sometimes police hold information in because it get out to the public will like trying their best like to solve it, or they're trying to like hide it from the person that committed the murder. Like, we know this information.
I don't know. It's just a little fishy to me.
It kind of reminded me of the Millbrook twins. You remember how it seemed like it was like a police officer or somebody high rank killed them. I mean, I killed them. We don't know if they murdered or not, but they went missing. So I wish I had more information. I just wish I had more information to go off of because it's a lot out there, but it's not enough to say it's this person. I mean, to you, we think it's a cop. I kind of think it's a cop. I mean, you can get all that gear offline. It's not really hard not to get that gear offline. I can go buy it myself too. I don't know. I look to the husband, guys, and I'm like, I'm weird like this. When I see that a wife is murdered, I always look to the husband, and I can't really find nothing on him because I'm like, hey, did he get remarried? Like, I want to know because sometimes, like, when their wife is murdered, they like get remarried like 1 or 2 years later to the affair partner. I couldn't find anything. Anybody know? Inbox me and let me know because I really want to know. I was like trying to look for this man real talk, like where his social media. I mean, you can find it, but it's like kind of hidden a little bit.
Yeah.
So please, guys, let me know. Well, that's our theories.
Yeah.
Sad to say that we really didn't agree, but let's make a good episode. We both believe it's a police officer or somebody with police knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, it's just out of all the suspects that you mentioned, he checks the most boxes.
Well, I mean,
For me,
you still have the father.
I know, because he was limping and
They both limp.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's his son, you know, like who's going to want that to happen to their son?
Right.
Or their kid?
Right.
It's not the right way to go about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
This here, there say.
yeah.
Well, this has been a good episode. Our second murder.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I try to do more murders. It's just hard doing murders sometimes. Let us know you guys' theories. We are on all social media. Follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give us a thumbs up.
On YouTube.
Comment, like, subscribe. Get your friends on. Like, tell your friend, like, hey, I found this new podcast you might like. I think they would enjoy it. Give us a 5-star rating. Please tell me
Any theories?
any case suggestion, any case that
If you agree with me.
Yeah, I feel like she wants y'all to agree with her really bad. And I'm like, I just want the case to be solved.
Yeah.
So please like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media.
Hit that notification bell so you won't miss any episodes.
Bing! We are on YouTube and all podcast platforms. And this is Lesbian Detectives. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are signing out. And always remember, everybody's a suspect.
Until proven innocent.
Dun, dun, dun.
Lesbian Detectives. Unsolved cases. She's still missing. Yeah, they haven't found her yet. Well, let's talk about it.
They say he vanished without a trace. Could it be a psychotic break or a tragic accident? Police don't know where the body went. Unsolved murders, body still missing. That's unheard. Where's the witness? Lesbian detectives, what's going on? City on high alert, this out the norm. He did what, the who? Man, that ain't real, these crimes ain't true. Then come uncover these theories with us. We live right now, tuning in is a must.
Right now. Lesbian Detectives. Lesbian Detectives. We about to start the show, so get your popcorn ready, let's go. Pay attention to the message I present to you, the Lesbian Detectives.